Shalom, hello, g'day, how are ya, what's up? Welcome back. It's another episode of I'm Talking to Jew, episode 11. Today, I'm very excited. We're probably talking about the favourite Jewish pastime, in my opinion. Americans have baseball, the British have soccer, Australians, we have cricket. Jews have rules. Rules.
Yeah, I was wondering when you were going to
pause a long
in that
intro.
monologue.
And I got to be honest, probably my best one yet.
Yeah, you think so?
I think I'm getting better at intros.
Yeah, well, I think you're a little bit generous with your own intros, your own assessment of them.
Did not like that one. That's all right.
No, I didn't mind it. I was just sort of sitting here looking at you, waiting for you to pause.
When's your turn?
Yeah, because I know this is hard for people to believe, but we don't actually rehearse or script these podcasts.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for you to finish your intro so I can slide super smoothly in. But you just kept on going.
And I never tell you when I'm going to stop.
No,
That's the thing. Yeah.
And also, I didn't want to throw you off or anything. So I
was on a roll too.
I just let you start talking about American pastimes and whatnot.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about it while I was driving over to your house, how I was going to do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I thought that would be a little fun joke to do.
Yeah? How'd it go?
I'll give it a 7.
I'm not going to ask what out of. But yeah, today the topic is rules.
God, your favourite thing.
It's not actually my favourite thing. But I just have to say, it's the last of what I think is the last of the stepping stones I think we need to put in place so that we can speak about things like kosher.
Yeah,
because I know that's a big topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge. But we're going to mix it up a little bit first. We got Jewcabulary.
Yeah.
And a little bit later on, we'll have a little You've Got Mail.
Yes, exactly.
Which is very exciting.
And I think we're going to throw in a game of Jewlebrity Heads.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I've missed Jewlebrity Heads.
Did you?
Yeah.
Good.
That's one of my favourite segments. We've only played it twice.
I've got a good one. I think this might be the hardest trio of celebrities that I brought to the table.
It's going to be hard because we toyed with the idea of me doing it. And then you said, I know every Jewish celebrity there's ever been.
Yeah, because I made a joke that whenever we watch a movie, often we'll get into an argument about is such and such person in the movie or involved in the movie Jewish.
That's all that really matters to you.
Well, it's not all that really matters. Plot matters to me. Characterization.
Does it make it a better movie if there's a Jewish person in it?
No, it doesn't. But sometimes it's interesting to know. I mean, you'd like to know things. It's a pleasant surprise. Put it this way. There are lots of people who watch a movie and will look at the celebrities in that movie and be like, oh, I wonder who they're going out with, or did they break up, or how many African children have they adopted since the last movie I saw them in. It's not totally weird for me to be interested in whether they're Jewish or not.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I think it's actually, I think I do the same thing.
With whether celebrities are non-Jewish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I will not watch it if they are.
Yeah. Anyway, the point is, I don't want to sound arrogant because I'm sure there are lots of people that I don't know are Jewish or people I think are Jewish that are not actually Jewish.
Yeah.
For example, a few weeks ago, I was convinced Carrie Fisher was Jewish.
Yeah, that was a contentious one.
It was, yeah. So I'm sure there are ones that I could learn, but by and large, I feel like it would be more difficult just because, I've perused the list of Jewish celebrities on Wikipedia probably more times than you have.
Yeah, 100%. You wouldn't, I'd have to work real hard to get one to stump you.
Yeah.
What if I just lied and none of them were Jewish?
Well, that would be a betrayal of my trust. And that would be a betrayal of our listeners' trust as well. What little trust they have in us, you would lose.
Yeah. I am excited specifically today about You've Got Mail.
Okay,
because you mentioned to me.
Yeah, so I actually have a listener, a friend of mine, who lives in Israel. He's Australian, but he moved to Israel about 9-10 years ago. And he actually sent me a You've Got Mail just before we started recording. And instead of replying to him, I decided that the appropriate response would just to answer him off the cuff.
Yeah.
On mic.
And he's got beef.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of beef. He's got a little bit of suggestions because now that we've opened up our Jew pun-based segments to the world, everybody's throwing what they think is going to be the next favorite segment. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very exciting.
Yeah. But
we'll get there.
We'll see how that goes.
All right, lay this Jewcabulary on me.
Yeah, so I wanted to start with Jewcabulary because it's a word that's probably not as relevant for you to use in day-to-day life as sort of, Mazel Tov, Shalom, Mensch. Yeah, those are a little bit schlep. Those are better for you to use. But this is a good one for what we're doing today.
So to keep it up my sleeve, this one.
But it does have a ch, so don't worry.
Oh, I've nailed that already, so it's fine.
The word is halacha.
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 Halacha. Yeah. Well, that one's harder.
What it literally
in the middle
means
of the word
is the way. It literally means the way.
The way.
The way, yeah? But it actually means like Jewish law.
Oh, like the way of the law.
Yeah,
the lay
exactly.
of the land.
Sort of. So it's sort of like the way we live our lives according to the Jewish law.
Halakha. Oh, that's hard.
Yeah, it's not easy.
The middle of the word is really hard.
Exactly. Because you have a ha in the beginning, but a ha towards the end. Halakha.
Yeah, I'm not going to get that one.
Yeah. Or if you put on like an Eastern European accent, because there are lots of Jews who still speak with that sort of diction, it'd be halacha.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think it's Eastern European. I don't know. Somebody will send me a You've Got Mail and correct me again.
Yeah. We're going to really upset all of Eastern Europe.
Yeah, probably. No one seems too polite to send me corrections.
Yeah.
Yeah. But look,
you're copying a lot of abuse on your email line.
A little bit. So the word halacha, that's sort of what we're talking about. Rules.
Yeah.
If I say according to halacha, that just means according to Jewish law.
Okay.
Orthodox, rabbinic Jewish law.
Very, very interesting.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah. Where did it come from? How did it start out?
What, the word?
Yeah. Or you do not know? I'm thinking like you don't know.
No, I'm not thinking because I don't know. I'm sort of thinking how to explain it to an idiot? Because I don't actually know where it began. Yeah. But I sort of understand the process behind it. So, for example, if you say, in the Talmud, which we discussed a few weeks ago, which is a collection of all the rabbinical explanations of the Torah.
Yeah.
They're going to have like conversations and arguments about certain things, right? And then at the end of the day, they're going to say the way to actually do this or the way to actually keep kosher, halacha, the way is, etc., etc.
Okay.
Right? So that's like my attempt to take the literal Hebrew meaning of halacha and sort of explain it using English.
Yeah. I've found that all of the English translations of these Yiddish and Hebrew words are very cool.
Really?
Like the hammer, the name, the law.
Right.
They're all very cool to me.
Yeah. Lots of like titles, big statement things.
A lot of in there.
Halacha. It's because the prefix ha in the Hebrew word means the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So if I said like ha cow, that would be the cow.
That's very cool. Yeah, I'm on board with that.
You could change your name legally
to the cow.
The cow.
It sounds like something out of like American Pie.
Okay.
Like I can't even think of my own reference. Never mind.
That's all right. Okay, let's move on. So halacha, which is the topic of today as well as the Jewcabulary, it's more than just religious law. It also encompasses civil law. It also includes religious law, criminal law, all of those. It
bird
all
law?
comes under the branch of halacha. Sorry?
What about bird law?
What's bird law?
Law for birds. Law about birds. Law pertaining to birds.
Is that law that birds have to, like...
It's law that birds have to abide by and people have to abide by in relation to birds.
Did you make that up or is it another obscure reference I've missed?
It's just like a No It's Sunny in Philadelphia thing.
Oh, okay, cool. Bird law. Yeah. What sort of laws would a bird have to keep to?
Don't fly too close to the sun. Everyone knows that.
Oh, God. All right. It does not include bird law.
Well, I think bird law should also be just don't have birds as pets.
Any bird.
And if it is a like an injured bird that can no longer fly, I'm okay with it.
But you're not okay with like clipping wings?
No, I'm not on board with that.
Okay, fair. I hear you.
That's like keeping fish in little tanks.
Which people do as well.
Yeah, both horrible things to do.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay.
But I'll still eat birds and fish, so it's fine. Just don't keep them as pets. That's what I'm saying. It's cool.
So that's Cal's
That's my law.
That's your law?
Yeah, that's my bird and fish law.
The law of hakal. The cow.
We've had hakal.
Yeah. You've just thrown in a ch into your name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Now let's have the law.
Yeah. Anyway, so halacha refers to all of Jewish life, right? So Jewish criminal law, religious law, civil law, everything.
Is it much different to this normal law? Is Jewish criminal law different to just my law?
Well, I'm not really a law expert.
Definitely not a bird law expert, that's for sure.
I think the term is legal expert. Yeah, I'm not a legal lawyer, court, justice system expert.
Yeah.
But my primitive understanding, and this just could be from religious brainwashing, is that our law of Western society is based on Judeo-Christian, I guess, morals or principles and stuff.
Well, a lot of the stuff was like be good people.
Yeah, exactly. So I assume it's similar in that respect because they probably at one point started as the same thing and then diverged to a certain extent.
Yeah. I feel like this is going to be a good question Could be wrong.
Yeah.
How different is the law?
Okay.
Or how do you say it again?
Halacha.
Halacha.
Yeah.
How different is that to the commandments?
The commandments are included in halacha.
Oh, okay.
So halacha includes all of the commandments, all of the laws, and everything.
So it's all encompassing.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So when we spoke about the oral Torah, which is the oral tradition of explaining the Torah, and that's where the Talmud comes from, that is sort of expanding the Torah and understanding the Torah to understand exactly all the rules encompassed in the Torah.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm on board with it.
Cool. So, like I said, it's not the way Orthodox Jews approach halakha is not just as a legal precedent or legal rules, but it's supposed to represent the will of God.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So God gave us the Torah, and the rabbis through the oral tradition explained and expanded on the Torah, and that's how we get halakha. That's how we aim to follow what God wants us to do.
Yeah, well, it's all based around a big man, isn't it?
Yep, it's all based around the big man.
Hashem.
I was about to quiz you, but you anticipated.
Did you prepare questions?
I didn't.
Oh, damn.
Okay, but I can ask questions.
I feel like we need a little quiz. We need a benchmark.
Maybe we'll do like a bonus episode where I'll just quiz you over the last couple of months.
Yeah, let me go home
and
listen
study
to every episode.
Yeah.
And then we'll quiz me.
Yeah. Well, we work together, so I know that's what you do all day anyway.
Yeah. Actually, I won't listen to them. Just go.
No, okay.
We'll just quiz me.
All right. So obviously, because it's impossible for every rule to be covered in the Torah, because the Torah obviously is a finite document in terms of its length.
Yeah.
It also includes lots of stories and Jewish history and the creation and all that sort of stuff. Not every law, not every part of halakha is explicitly written in the Torah. Yeah?
Okay.
But everything is rooted in the Torah, and it's expanded from the Torah.
Where is it written if it's not written in the Torah?
Well, it's part of the oral tradition. Remember we spoke a few weeks ago about the oral tradition and the Talmud. Yeah, so it's this is the next chain, which is why this is the next episode before we deal with like kosher and the Sabbath, because we have the Torah, the written, immutable, divine document. Then you have the oral tradition, which is also divinely passed down.
Very divine.
Yep. And then from that, we distill halakha, the rules itself, the practical day-to-day rules.
Oh. Yeah. It's almost like we're going in some kind of order, some kind of logical progression.
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost
we're
like
almost
that,
there.
but not quite. Now, the important thing conceptually to understand about Jewish law is that we believe that God gave the Torah to the Jewish people, to mankind, right?
Yeah.
And then gave the leaders of the Jewish people, so nowadays that's the rabbis, the authority to then translate what the Torah intends into reality.
Okay.
So what that means is that essentially, and this is quite a difficult concept to get our heads around, halakha belongs to the Jewish people to define whatever they want, not whatever they want from it, but to determine what halakha is.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so there's a cool story I want to share with you.
Yeah,
Do you mind if we go into story time?
We can. That's a pretty chill thing. That's like the most chill thing God's done so far.
Yeah.
He was like, normally he was like, this is how it's going to be.
I tried to tell you, I tried to warn you from the beginning, it's not nearly as Old Testament God-y-like as you thought.
He was sort of like a really strict parent. Like, it's like he had kids before the Jews and was really strict on them.
Yeah.
And then you guys came around and he was kind of cool with it, you know?
Yeah, it's an interesting take on it.
Yeah. He was like, well, if you're going to smoke weed, I'd rather you did it in a house. That's what he's like this time around.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Because he's been chill. He was like, look, these are like the guidelines.
Okay.
You guys kind of flesh it out.
Right.
Figure out your own path.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
Okay, so I have a story. This is a story from the Talmud.
I love stories.
It's about a rabbi called Rabbi Eliezer. And Eliezer.
Yeah, very cool name.
Yeah, very cool name. Rabbi Eliezer and all the other sages, all the other rabbis around with him, they had an argument. So on the one side was Rabbi Eliezer, and on the other side were all the other rabbis. This is a very famous story.
Yeah.
They had a debate about the status of a particular oven, whether it was pure to use or needed to be purified.
Yeah.
The details aren't important. During this debate, Rabbi Eliezer said, if I'm right, can you see this carob tree? It's going to get up out of the ground and it's going to move.
Carob tree?
Yeah. You know the
carob?
fruit? You know what a carob is? Like this black sort of edible thing.
No. That's fine. I'm getting distracted by the carob.
Yeah. the point is a tree, okay?
Yep.
So Rabbi Eliezer says, if I'm right about this particular halacha, this law, the tree's going to get out of the ground and it's going to move. And lo and behold, the tree jumps out of the ground and moves. Crazy. Then he says, all right, then the rabbis say, nope, that doesn't prove anything. So Rabbi Eliezer comes back and says, all right, can you see that river? If I'm right, the river's going to start flowing upstream.
Yeah, best 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And the river starts flowing upstream, and the rabbis go, nah, not good enough. That's not a
This
proof.
guy's a magician. What are these rabbis talking about?
Next, Rabbi Eliezer says, all right, we're sitting in this study hall in this building. If I'm right, the walls of the building are going to start to cave in. And guess what happens?
The walls caved in.
Exactly. Well, they start to cave in. And the rabbis go, nah, it's not enough of a proof.
Who are these guys? How much proof do you need? That's 3 to 3.
And so Rabbi Eliezer goes, I have one more proof. If I'm right, a voice from heaven is going to come out and say that I'm right.
Okay.
And a voice from heaven comes out and says, Rabbi Eliezer is right in this particular instance.
Yeah, did they believe it?
And all the rabbis turn around and says a Hebrew phrase, which is lo bashamayim hi, which means basically the Torah is not in heaven. The Torah and the rules of the Torah, this is what the story means, is not up to heaven to decide. It's not up to God to decide anymore. God gave us the Torah, and he gave us, as we believe in the oral tradition, the tools to understand the Torah. And now the rabbis, in a majority rules, because if you have a minority versus a majority opinion, you go with the majority. In a majority rules scenario, that determines what the halacha is, not miracles and moving trees and upflowing streams and caving in walls. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's a crazy concept
I'd be
to really get your head around.
I'd be pretty annoyed if I was the solo rabbi making all this stuff happen.
Rabbi Eliezer?
Yeah.
Well, the story actually doesn't end there. There's one little postscript.
Because he's doing magic.
Yeah. It's
Where's the smoke and mirrors? He's performing all these miracles.
But that's the point. The point is miracles don't determine what the practical day-to-day law is in Judaism.
Okay.
It's not some miraculous esoteric thing. We have structures and we have rabbinic authority to determine what the law is based on their logic, based on their rationale, using the methodology of studying Torah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have bought that.
Yeah.
If I was back then, I'd be like, I'm going with the guy that's making the river flow the other way. I'm on his team.
Yeah, well, halacha, the way, would disagree with you.
Okay.
Anyway, the postscript to the story is God's reaction to all of this. God looks at all this going on and all the rabbis disregarding all the miracles and the voice from heaven and stuff, and he starts laughing and he says, my children have defeated me. That's his response.
Yep. The master has become the apprentice.
Yeah, yes.
Uh-huh.
Kind of.
Yeah.
In a certain way.
He's like, they've done it.
Yeah.
They've figured it out.
So, but you can see how halacha, on the one hand, represents the will of God, but on the other hand,
But his will was...
The particulars of a specific case is actually up to the Jewish people as a whole and our authority figures to determine.
Mm-hmm. Could you say it was his will for the Jewish people to figure all this out?
Yeah, that's exactly what he
wanted.
would say. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Did they ever explain how this guy did all this stuff?
No, I mean, it's a story. So, I mean, you can believe that it literally happened. You can believe that it was included to portray a particular point.
I'm taking it literally.
Okay.
I'm done. This guy made that tree dance. The river flowed backwards.
Yeah. I'm trying not to inject my own personal opinions about these sort of theological things, but this is the story as it's written.
Okay.
The legend.
I don't want to hear your opinion, but that's all right.
You do or don't?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, fine.
We've got time.
This is my personal opinion. I don't have a reason to believe that it literally happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for me, the point of the story is not whether it happened or didn't happen. The point of the story is, I mean, I know this is tautological, but is the point of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the message behind it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm on board with that.
Yeah, cool.
I just like to believe in the magic of it all.
Yeah, that's fair, and lots of people do.
Yeah, like the parting of the sea, all that sort of stuff.
That's different. Now, that's different.
Okay.
Because if you're going to start applying my sort of logic to the parting of the sea, you're going to come into slightly more theological grey areas.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have rabbis say, no, that's specifically in like the Torah. This isn't like a story from the Talmud. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so
it's
this
a different
guy,
class.
what was his name again? It seems like he has about 7 E's in his name.
Who, Rabbi Eliezer?
Yeah.
Yeah, the rabbi from the story.
Rabbi Eliezer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might have been telling pork pies, I think.
Well, he might not have been portraying this, like, giving over the story.
Yeah.
Someone else might have been.
Oh, okay.
Because it's written in the Talmud, and I can't remember who the story is attributed to.
Yeah. Do you know how to spell his name?
Yeah. E-L.
Yeah.
I.
Yeah.
E-Z-E-R.
Okay. So
but that's how you spell it in English.
3 E's.
Yep.
Okay. It seems like there was a lot more in there.
No. Because there's also an I. It's like Eliezer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
I know someone named Eliezer. I mean, we call him Eli.
I'm going to assume he was named after this magic man.
Huh? I'd have to ask him. So that's sort of how authority and how the determination of halacha or rules in Judaism works.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
I like it. That made me... I'm more on board with this God
I
by
knew
now.
you would be. I tried to explain this to you from the beginning, but it's so hard. We had to build ourselves up.
I'm coming around because he was seeming a little bit like a bit of a dictator at the start.
Yeah.
Bit of an ego, but this one he was pretty chill.
Okay. So if you're coming round, would now be a good time for me to bring up the issue of your voluntary circumcision? No, too early still?
I'm not on board.
Okay, fine. Maybe episode 50. All right. The next part that we need to understand is the 2,000-year gap between the writing of the Talmud. A little bit less than 2,000, maybe more like 1,500 years.
Yeah.
Because over those years...
couple 500 years here and there. Doesn't matter.
Over those years, there have been rabbis who have codified halakha, the rules, into like practical guides, right?
Okay.
Like, here's just a list of everything. You want to keep kosher? This is how you have to do it. You want to keep the Sabbath? This is how you have to do it.
This has got to be contentious, surely, within the rabbi and the Jewish community. Like, there must be ego conflicts. What gives you the right? And they say the law.
Yes
right?
and no. There are interesting stories of like great rabbis writing a particular book, a codified book of all the laws, and it just being accepted universally. And then sort of it gets updated with commentaries on that, and then extra. I mean, because technology in the modern world is always evolving.
Yeah.
So there's this constant need to revise the halakha and to relearn the halakha and apply it to things like electricity and computer usage and cars and all these sort of things that could obviously not have been taken into account 1,500 years ago.
This is a question I've never asked. Probably should have. Yeah. But this might be a whole episode in itself.
Okay.
Rabbis, right?
Yeah.
Are they elected? How do you become a rabbi? You got to study a lot, obviously.
Yeah, I think this probably could be an episode.
Full episode on rabbis.
But the current form of rabbis, there are basically you have to study. It's like a degree.
Okay.
You have to study Jewish law. You have to study halakha, and you have to pass a series of tests.
Okay, and then you can just be like a rabbi.
Well, then you get the same way you'd get given the title of doctor, and then that gives you the
so it's not
to
like
practice medicine.
It's not like the Pope, where you have to. I think you have to be like voted in.
Yeah, no.
Like
it's not like that.
And stuff involved.
I don't think it's like that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that sounds like an interesting topic for a full episode. I think.
Definitely. The last thing I just wanted to say before we move on, is that the way Judaism views authority, or Orthodox Judaism views authority, is that every generation we get further away from the original giving of the Torah and the original writing down of the Torah and stuff. Obviously, because of that distance, we believe that we sort of have to defer to the authority of older generations. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the closer they were, obviously, the, I guess, smaller.
You have to hold their opinions in higher regard.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So very, very rarely will modern day rabbis come out with something that contradicts something that an earlier rabbi said.
There's no like trailblazing like radical rabbis come out with like wild new theories and stuff.
Absolutely. So obviously that poses certain issues with the level to which modern Judaism is adapting to modern society.
Yeah, because there's got to be surely like with the commandments especially, they got to be some that are very, very outdated.
Yeah. Any have in mind?
Oh, I don't know. All 613.
Which you've memorized, obviously.
Yeah.
It's very hard to talk about like, these.
I know. Well, like
we're talking very generally.
Stoning people, is that a thing?
So stoning people as an example. So that's a criminal halakha.
Yeah.
That's halakha if you conduct certain crimes. Oh, also a little bit religious. You the punishment for it is stoning.
Yeah.
And this is where the Talmud comes in, because the Talmud comes in and puts on, I guess, mitzvot, commandments like these, such specific and rigorous and comprehensive and intense conditions to make such a thing almost impossible to actually happen.
Yeah, we talked about this, didn't we? About
we did.
That tried to live
exactly
by
when
the
we
rules.
talked about AJ Jacobs.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's those sort of situations where the rabbis, in their application of the Torah, are sort of adapting it so that we're not in a situation where we feel like we have to stone people.
Yeah.
So then you go, well, hold on, why does the Torah then say stone someone for breaking the Sabbath? And then you have to understand the hierarchy of punishments according to the Torah.
Yeah.
Right? So there are different punishments that the Torah outlines for specific transgressions.
Yeah.
And there are even different methods of capital punishment, one of which is stoning.
That's a rough one, isn't it?
And each of those methods is also hierarchical in terms of their severity. So the indication of what punishment goes to what transgression is less indicative of what we're actually supposed to do and more indicative of just how important that commandment is in terms of breaking.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm on board.
Yeah. So that's why people who say like, oh, you should stone adulterers, that's what the Torah says. They said, yes, that is literally what the Torah says, but that's not what the Torah means according to our tradition.
Okay.
Or even if that's what it meant at the time, in context 3,000 years ago, we're not living 3,000 years ago.
Yeah. Kind of feels like you could cross that stoning one out of the Torah, though.
Practically?
Yeah.
Yes, but we wouldn't actually literally do it in actual Torah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
what do you think? Well, is it like a lethal injection? Is that the modern day equivalent to stoning?
No. I mean, there is no modern day equivalent, especially because let's say you wanted to reinstitute these sort of things.
Yeah.
You'd have to have what's called a Sanhedrin, which is a group, it's like the elite rabbis, like the council of elite rabbis.
Dogs.
Yeah, the top dogs.
Yeah.
They'd have to all come together and they would have to come to a consensus and judgment and with the whole court proceedings and witnesses and the whole shebang bang. And only then could they then sentence someone to death.
How do you become a top dog?
Well, there's no way of doing it now because there's no consensus. Like, Judaism and the Jews are too fractured. Like, we're too split at the moment. We'd never be able to agree on like saying everyone would want their own rabbis from their
exactly.
Yeah. So it's one of the big problems that we don't have a Sanhedrin because in certain aspects it's holding traditional Judaism back from adapting fully.
Yeah. Do you think that's because people would want to sort of represent their best interest?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, best interest makes it sound like they have sort of
schemes.
Yeah.
Ulterior motives.
They have bad intentions, but just what they think is true.
Yeah.
I guess. There's a saying that says any Sanhedrin and this is back when there was a Sanhedrin 2,000 years ago, any Sanhedrin who put one person to death every 70 years was considered a bloody Sanhedrin. And not bloody like Australian bloody.
Oh, that's good.
Like literal bloody. Yeah. So it's like saying the concept was so unfathomable that it would practically never happen.
Yeah. Well, 1 out of 70 years is pretty good.
Yeah, it's like not that there was 1 out of 70, but if there was 1 out of 70.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously nowadays you have different types of Judaism. So I'm talking from a point of view of Orthodox Judaism.
Yeah.
But Reform Judaism, which is quite much bigger in America than it is here in Australia, so they don't consider halacha to be binding in contemporary times. And that's one of the big divergences from
a little bit of wiggle room for those guys.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's interesting how you view halacha and stuff. And even within Orthodoxy, I mean, I'd probably be considered relatively liberal in my understanding of halacha compared to other people. Yeah. Even within my own family.
Isn't that the ability to sort of like pick and choose like that sort of what God wanted?
Ooh. So
you can't speak for God, but like if he's
can't speak for God.
You guys can decide what it is, how it works.
Well, you can decide how it is and how it works within the structures given. Like, you can't just decide. There are specific rules about how to interpret the Torah.
Oh, okay.
And like the same way how like you can't just decide that 2 + 2 = 4. You have to actually prove it mathematically. So you can determine what the halakha is, but you have to prove it halachically.
Okay.
And you have to obviously be knowledgeable enough in it to make that call, which rabbis are, and someone like me is not.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you were.
No. Definitely not. Definitely not. No. So that's it. That's rules.
Wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No, it wasn't, hey?
I was expecting a big old snore fest.
I'm glad I instilled that level of confidence in you.
Well, it's just rules, you know me. I'm a bad boy.
Yeah, you are.
I don't play by anybody's rules.
You see rules and you just break them.
Yeah.
Left, right, and center.
Don't care. I see rules, I break them. I see rulers, I break them too. I don't care about measurements.
What about those bendy rulers? Those must have frustrated you.
That's a nightmare. My kryptonite is the bendy ruler.
Yeah. I do remember how cool those were. Like when they first came out.
I remember like whacking people with them.
Yeah, well, that's because you're a bad boy.
Yeah,
I was sitting dutifully and measuring my centimeters and all sorts of things.
What is the point of a bendy ruler? Is it so you can fit it in your pencil case? Because you're not measuring anything bendy.
Probably because there were rascals like you who went around breaking rulers.
True. Yeah, I guess it's like the whole reason we have like safety glass and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit less consequential. But I guess also, you know those old pencil cases? I mean, they're not old. They're old for us, but I'm still sure kids still use them. Mm-hmm. Those pencil cases, you used to put all your stuff in it and the ruler. Now, if you drop that, I guess the ruler's just going to snap even if it's in the case.
Yeah.
A bendy ruler won't.
Okay. Yeah. This is completely off topic.
No, it is.
Do you ever have, in like primary school...
Okay.
Well, in my primary school, we had a desk, right?
Yeah.
And then on top of that desk, we had like this plastic cover.
Okay.
That we could put like papers and stuff underneath.
Like a drawer?
No, it wasn't a drawer. So, right, it was a desk that opened to reveal like a drawer underneath.
Oh,
but on top of that lid, you could put this like rubber cover on top.
Yeah.
And you could put papers and stuff underneath that.
No, we had a different system. We had desks and then like an actual drawer where you could keep stationery. And we had what we called chair bags, which were bags on the back of our chair.
I figured it out. Yeah.
It like sat over the backrest.
Yeah.
And it sort of hung behind you and you could put books in.
I was really hoping you had those rubber covers. They were the worst idea ever because any time you would lift your lid up, all your papers would just slide out. It was the most like ill-conceived idea.
Yeah, who thought about that?
It was not good.
What a disaster.
Oh, boy.
All right. Shall we move on to Jewlebrity Heads?
Yes, I cannot wait.
Good. All right. It might not come as a surprise to anyone that I'm a bit movie obsessed.
Yeah, true.
So I'm slowly trying to segue away from movie themes Jewlebrity Heads.
Do you want to plug your movie blog?
Oh, well, I haven't really touched it in a while, so probably not.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But nonetheless, I have failed on this occasion because I've chosen 3 directors.
Okay.
Cool?
Yep.
All right.
Before we say them, can I guess who they're going to be? That'd be fun.
Okay.
Ron Howard?
Nope.
Steven Spielberg?
Nope.
J.J. Abrams?
No.
Shit.
Do you know which of those are Jewish?
Sorry?
Do you know which of those 3 are Jewish?
J.J. Abrams?
Yes, and?
Spielberg.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Actually, Ron Howard might be. I don't know.
I feel like he might be as well.
He could be. I really don't know. But I specifically did not choose Spielberg because that's the obvious one.
Ends in Berg. So.
Yeah. And I didn't choose Abrams either because he's come up on like 3 podcasts already.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're a bit JJ obsessed, aren't we?
I brought 3.
Yep.
And don't hate me, they all just happen to be male directors.
You're a pig. You're really a pig.
I don't deny that, but not for this reason.
Hosted by 2 straight white males.
Yeah.
And you've picked 3 male directors.
I'm Jewish. I'm a minority.
Fair.
Yes.
Okay.
You have no cards to play.
God, yeah, I know.
All right.
The biggest majority there is.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Film directors. We have Martin Scorsese.
Oh, sounds Jewish.
George Lucas.
Yeah, also.
And Jon Favreau. So if you're not familiar with these 3, Martin Scorsese is the director behind Wolf of Wall Street, Casino, Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Favreau,
Iron Man.
Jon Favreau, Iron Man, Chef, the recent remake of The Jungle Book.
Chef was an interesting movie.
I really liked it.
I liked it.
Really liked it.
It was refreshing because it was a movie where like the things that went wrong quite early.
Yeah.
And then they got better.
Yeah.
And then they just stayed good.
Agreed.
It never got worse again.
Apparently it was like an analogy for his own experience with like the big studios.
Yeah.
And so interesting. Good film if you haven't seen it.
Quite liked it.
And then obviously the third Jewlebrity head is George Lucas, who was the creator of Star Wars.
Naturally. Okay.
So which of those are Jewish?
I'm going to say Favreau's Jewish.
Okay.
Don't know why.
Okay.
I feel like I'm going his curly hair for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Scorsese.
Yep.
Not Jewish.
Okay.
And
George Lucas.
George Lucas. Jewish.
Lock in your final answer?
Yep.
You got 2 out of 3.
Pretty close.
Yeah. Jon Favreau is Jewish.
Good.
Martin Scorsese is not Jewish. And George Lucas is not Jewish. That's not bad. 2 out of 3.
I got 2. Scorsese wasn't.
Yeah, Scorsese wasn't.
Okay,
and you
pretty good. 2 out of 3 is good.
I tried really hard this time to remember your answers because the last time we did it, I could not remember if you got them right or not. I
figured them instantly as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forget what segments we're doing.
Yeah.
For every intro every week. I'll say, we're doing these ones, and then I'll get halfway through my intro, and I'll say, Aaron, what else are we doing?
It's because you're too focused on your opening monologue to actually think about the practicalities of what the introduction is supposed to be.
Yeah.
But that's just doing business with you. I've learned.
I even write them down, and I still forget.
That's great.
All right.
Should we move on to...
Let's get to this beef.
All right. So this
Who wants to take on the beef king? Because I'm ready.
Like I said, shout out to my good mate. His name actually has a ch, so here you go. It's not actually Buchi, but that's short for his actual surname. Buchi, if you're listening, this is for you, mate.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
He said he's enjoying our episodes, and he especially enjoys the bits where I make fun of my wife. I don't make fun of my wife, just to clarify, Buchi.
I was so close to doing a Borat then.
Do it.
Nah.
Do it.
No.
Do it.
We're above that.
We're not really. Yeah, I don't make fun of my wife. All I say is that she is our biggest critic. And that's not making fun. That's just a fact.
Yeah, that's just true.
It's just true.
She's just a critic of you just in general.
I love her to bits, but she's my biggest critic. She has asked me on many an occasion, oh, why can't you be as funny as Cal? Oh, true. Wow, Cal's so tall.
Handsome.
Nope, never said that. Nope.
Manly?
No. All right. He has 4 points. So he's really gone deep.
All right, whatever.
A. Your description of the kotel is wrong. Okay, so this is obviously our new segment last week when we were talking about... The segment was Be Gentile with Me.
Yep.
And you asked me why we put notes in the Western Wall.
I did.
And I explained to you what the Western Wall is.
Yeah.
And
it's a wall in the West.
Buchi has pointed out that it is not the only remaining wall of the Second Temple, of the Old Temple. There is the Southern Wall, which is completely intact. Now, that's true. The last time I was in Israel, the Southern Wall was not open to the public. It was you could only access it on like guided tours.
Okay.
Whereas the Western Wall is the only part of the temple that exists that we can, that anybody without a guided tour can access, to my knowledge.
Okay.
So Buchi, that's 50%.
So
accurate.
Why did you lie to me? That's what I want to
know. You said to be Gentile with you, and I was just trying to be Gentile.
Okay, well, Bookie's picked you up on it.
Yeah, he has.
I'm coming around to Bookie.
He's never Gentile with me.
Because this is more... He's got beef with you. He doesn't have beef with me yet.
Yeah, not yet. All right. Here we go. Here's his suggestion. I don't know how he gets the audacity to give us a suggestion, but here he goes. You should add a segment called Jude the Pooch. And it's of misconceptions about Jews or maybe listener mistakes about Jews.
Okay.
I actually had another You've Got Mail one that was about what I thought was the biggest misconception about Jews.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad idea. Maybe we'll introduce that into
I've got a suggestion for Bookie.
Yeah, go for it.
Bookie, how about you start a podcast, make your own segment?
Yes,
yeah,
I like it. Yeah, take that, Bookie. Yeah.
He sounded like a real Jake right now.
They're both really nice people, actually.
Yeah, not to my knowledge.
C. I will happily help out I will happily help out with Cal's pilgrimage to Israel.
Oh.
I hope he means financially.
Yeah, does he mean he's going to pay for it?
And does he also know that I'm coming with you?
Hey, Bookie, I didn't mean anything I said before. You seem like a great guy. I'm on board.
Yep.
And I think he means he's going to he would show me around.
Yeah, I think he means that.
And pay for my first class ticket.
Yeah, where am I going? Do I have to sit in economy?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
That sucks.
You've been to Israel before.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with the
I need to
over.
have the full experience.
No, I need to
the
prepare
traditional
you.
Jewish experience of flying first class.
I need to prepare you.
Okay.
All right, and number D, and this is just a complaint. The last episode was more about anti-Semitism than money. It was a stereotype episode about the anti-Semitic stereotype of Jews and money, and I'm sorry, Buchi, if we got a little bit sidetracked about anti-Semitism in general.
Yeah, we'll do an anti-Semitism episode.
Yeah, we can do one.
Yeah, leave the negative thoughts at the door, Bookie. This is a positive space.
I agree. We talked about a bit of anti-Semitism also in the Jews and Christmas and the Jews and Gentiles podcast as well. So
it's going to slip in there.
It's going to. It's just natural. It's au naturel.
Bookie's got a point. A little point. I don't necessarily agree with it.
Are we against Buki or are we for Buki?
Oh, I'm very, very pro-Buki after he offered to fly me to Israel.
Do you want to send him your bank details so he can make a transfer, or would you like him to just book the ticket himself?
Yeah, I just wanted to pay for it.
Okay, cool.
Put it in my name.
All right, we'll organise it.
He didn't really have any beef with me then. That was good.
He only had beef with me.
He was like, I hate Aaron. Cal seems like a chill dude wanting to come to Israel and hang out with me.
All right, it's not verbatim what he said.
Oh, I was paraphrasing. It's fine.
All right. You and Buki can get a room.
Buki's, yeah. We can bookie a room.
Ooh, nice. You're not saying it properly. It's a Buki.
Buki. Oh, I can't do it.
With a...
Nah.
Buki. You can call him Buki. That works.
Buki. Is it there? At the start?
No, beginning. I mean, end. Buki.
Okay, say it one more time.
Buki. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, good.
Buki.
I'm nailing it.
Yeah, you are.
The other one was really hard.
What, Jake?
Classic gag.
Yeah.
No, our Jewcabulary word was very difficult.
Yeah, it was. It was a hard one.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that wraps up episode 11.
I gotta say, that's my favorite episode so far, just because Buki it's great. What a generous guy.
Yeah, you just love when your ego is stroked.
Yeah.
You love when your bank account is filled. Fair enough, though.
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't?
All right. Well, now's the time before you fall asleep and before you switch off our podcast that we're going to do our usual begging. Would you like to beg?
I want to beg.
Okay, beg, Cal.
Yeah, look, like, if you're on the train right now, maybe you're on a bus, not so much if you're driving to work. If you're listening to this, maybe turn to the person next to you, say, hey, check out this cool podcast. Maybe share an earbud.
Yeah. There's
if
nothing gross about that.
No, if you've got those Bluetooth earbuds with no string, it doesn't have to be the person next to you. It could be a person 10 rows back.
Beautiful.
Share the love.
Sharing is
caring. It doesn't
caring.
always have to be through social media.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
Interact with the people around you.
But having said that, also share us on social media.
Of course.
Yep.
Yeah.
Make sure to like us, our page at Talking Jew on Facebook. We're also on Twitter. Subscribe to our podcast. Share. Rate us. Please, please, please rate us. We're still coming for Joe Rogan. We're still trying to beat him.
God, yeah.
He's at the top. I don't know if we're ever going to get there.
I don't think we'll catch Rogan.
Yeah. If you want to get in contact with us, and if you want to outbid Buchi for paying for our trip to Israel, or you just want to say how amazing our podcast is, or you have questions or other complaints, get in touch with us, talkingjew@gmail.com.
Beautiful.
Is that anything else we don't want to say?
We could plug Patreon, but that's going slowly, isn't it?
It is going slowly. If you are interested in supporting us to make sure that we can do this podcast, because there are ongoing costs to doing a podcast.
God, we're in the red.
Do get in touch with us, and we can always let you know how that's going.
Yeah.
Awesome.
If you just want to send money, we can do that too.
You can do that as well, yeah. We'll give you the details. Absolutely, we can. We also accept Bitcoin now, which is a new development.
Yeah.
We definitely suggest Bitcoin, but only if it's going up, not if it's crashing.
I do not know how it works, but I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we'll see you later, guys. We'll see you next week for episode 12.
Adios.